On 1st of July, Swami Gokulanandaji gave a talk. I think many of you were present, but there are some who are not present, so I have to say something about his personality and other things. At present, he is in charge of the Ramakrishna Mission, Delhi, India. Since 1954, he is there. He joined the order in 1954, and he was in New Delhi 1986. First, he was a lecturer in one of the best residential college, Belur Vidya Mandir. Then he became the principal of that college and served there for a number of years. He worked in many places, mostly in educational and cultural centers under Ramakrishna Mission. He went to Cherrapunji tribal area. You know, it is highest rainfall in the whole world. Annual average rainfall is 450 inches. We have got one high school, which is Matriarchal Society, co-education, 9 middle schools, and 32 primary schools scattered all over Khasiya and Jayanta hills. Now, I think some more centers have been added. Then he came to Arunachal Pradesh, another tribal area, as the head of that residential English medium college, high school. He learned Khasi language, could speak and write fluently. Not only that, he has translated many important books of Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature, and it became very popular in that area. Not only that, it saved to some extent Christian missionaries' bad conversion and anti-Indian feelings. It's a great support to them. He wrote some other good books. One, Some Guidelines to Inner Life. It has been translated into different regional languages in India, also in Portuguese and Spanish. Another book, Our Holy Trinity, that is Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swami Vivekananda. Another book, Swami Vivekananda, The Ideal of the Youth. And then finally, How to Overcome Mental Tension, that is today's topic. It was first printed 3,000 copies. Within a year it was all sold. Next print, 5,000 copies, all sold now. Third print is coming up. In Delhi Book Fair, this was the best seller, How to Overcome Mental Tension. Day before yesterday, he was invited to give a talk on the Pravasi Banga Sammelan. After the talk, many people came, requested to have a copy of that book. Unfortunately, he could not bring copies, so we have taken the list. At the end, if you are interested, you can give your name and address. We shall try to find it out, and we can send it. He took part in international conferences on religions and philosophical topics. He has visited many places: UK, France, Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands, Belgium, Italy, Malta, Singapore, Nepal, Bhutan, and Sri Lanka. We are very happy to have in our midst. When I was in India, we are very close to each other. And tomorrow early morning, we are going to Thousand Island Park, stay overnight, and 7th and 8th, next 2 days, we will be in Montreal. Then he'll go to Halifax. From Halifax, he'll go to Vancouver, and Vancouver will come to New York. 2-3 days, then he'll go back to India. So, may I request Swami Gokulanji to present his topic.
Devotees, friends and admirers. Well, I am very happy to be here this evening. I have been already introduced to you by Swami Pramodhananda ji, and the topic has also been announced. How to overcome mental tension. I will try to develop in course of the time that has been allotted to me, between 35 and 40 minutes. Well, a little while ago, our Swamiji told you when he was about to speak and came here that he was asked to wait for 2 minutes, and he said, let us have patience, let us practice silence. If we go around the world, what do we find today? Thanks to science and technology, we have made much progress, tremendous progress, so far as modern amenities and material comforts are concerned. But if we compare our hectic lives as we live today, is it not a fact that always we are in a rush? We have no time to pause and ponder. You go and ask, you will find almost all of them say, oh, we have no time, we are overworked, we are under tremendous tension, so on and so forth. In the midst of the hurly-burly and hustle and bustle of life, it is a fact. Once a devotee came to the Ramakrishna Mission in New Delhi, where I am now, and he said, Swamiji, you know that I occupy a very responsible position in the government of India, and I want to do justice to the work that has been allotted to me. At the same time, while trying to be efficient in the field of my work, I want to live a relaxed life. But to be very frank, I fail. Why? Because I find that the work that has been given to me, if it has been to be finished in the right possible manner, I have to bring workload to my home, and then that creates tension, because I am a householder, I have my wife and children, and sometimes they rightly grumble that here also you have brought your office, no time to spend with us. And this devotee told me, as a result, sometimes I break myself into pieces, and this causes no mean excitement and irritation. This is the overall picture throughout the world. Let us admit it frankly. This being so, then what is the remedy? Before I come to the remedy of mental tension, I will have to tell you what are the causes of tension. But before I do that, let me sound a note of warning that if we live always under tension and allow ourselves to be in a high-strung or frame of mind, then the result is real failure in all directions. And therefore, we have to become very, very cautious. While telling this, I now come to the main point, the main subject, mental tension, and what are its possible causes and the remedies by which this tension can be overcome. Well, I was referring to one devotee who works in the government of India. Let me now refer to another busy executive in a big firm, and he admits that there is no peace in the family because he has been suffering under so much tension that whenever he comes home, he brings tension with him, and entering the house, he tells his wife, Swamiji, my wife, he will tell, I am under terrible tension, and the wife naturally slips away, keeps herself at a distance, and she invariably cautions the children, your daddy is in no mood, don't go near. So these things are common phenomena everywhere. Our ancestors, they also worked, but they did not live active lives. They knew how to discipline or regulate their lives, but modern day man, even though to their credit they may claim that they work for 10, 12 hours a day, but how many of them can claim that they know how to live their day-to-day lives? Most of us cannot claim that. We somehow exist. I may make a subtle distinction between existence and vegetating our lives. We know how to exist, we know how to vegetate, but very few of us know how to live a purposeful, meaningful, balanced, integrated life guided by certain fundamental principles. Well, we sometimes have to face challenging situations. Martin Luther King once said that the ultimate measure of a person lies in not how he behaves in normal, pleasant situation. A real test of a man is judged when he or she faces some adverse situation. Challenging situations do come, and we have to put up with the same boldly and bravely, otherwise we'll miss the main purpose of life. While talking about challenging situation, I am reminded of an incident that happened in the life of our great Swami Vivekananda, when as a wandering monk, he went on a pilgrimage to Varanasi, holy Varanasi. Devotees well acquainted with the life of Swamiji will please recall that one day when he was visiting the Durgavadi at Varanasi, he was attacked by some monkeys and Swamiji was just running away. At that moment, a monk shouted at our Swamiji, "Fetch the brutes." And Swamiji looked back and really fetched the monkeys, and they took to their heels. Later on a number of occasions referring to this incident, Swamiji said that difficulties will come and a tense-free life will not be possible, and in fact, hardly we come across a really calm, collected, balanced life. This is a rarity. So we have to put up challenging situation and face boldly. In this connection, I would like to tell you something from my own personal life. As Swami Pramuthanandaji, while introducing me to you, told about the difficult time I had to face at Cherrapunji. Now this has relevance on what I am telling. Really, there was a period in my life I had to pass through great mental depression and tension. I should spend a little time, allow me to dwell on this. Well, I was in the Khasi Hills for a number of years. I mastered the language. I invited the then president of the Ramakrishna Mission, revered Swami Birajchandraji, to come, and he was very pleased with the tribal children, and he gave Diksha to a number of people, and he would tell publicly, my Diksha does not mean conversion, I just give them something so that they can hold on to their indigenous faith. But this was given a wrong interpretation by the people who have been working there, who do not want that these Khasis would hold on to their indigenous faith. As a result, I was made a target and I had to suffer a lot. Even a time bomb was planted in my bedroom, but God saved me, and it was an all India news. Well, and then some pressure came from the government that I should be withdrawn from that center, Cherrapunji. And I came down to Belur Math, and I told revered President Maharaj what happened, that I faced the situation boldly, and you also wrote me a letter, stick to the gun, don't run away, and now you are asking me to withdraw from the battlefield, so to say. And Swamiji said, this is a kind of a retreat and we will send you back. Now why I am telling you, naturally you can well understand that I was the head of a center. With all dignity and glory I was discharging my duties so that many could come under the umbrella of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's teachings, and that happened to my fate. Fortunately, I had that faith in the words of Swamiji. Swami Vivekananda said in one place, out of illness and adversity comes the greatest good. Then I asked revered Maharaj, what should I do? Now we are giving you leave. You go on and leave. You choose your own place. And I went to Sargachi, and that was the best period of my sadhu life. I am now the head of Delhi Center. If I request the headquarters, give me 3 months, 4 months leave, they won't give me. In fact, when I was transferred from our Narottanagar Center to Delhi Center, I requested the DGen General Secretary, Swami Hiranmayanandaji, Maharaj, I have worked for 18 years in the tribal belt against heavy odds. Now please give me leave at least for 6 months. But no, we can't give you leave for 6 months. 3 months, no. 1 month, no. Then I felt bad. And he sent a telegram, come immediately to Belur Math. Then he said, Gokulananda, we really need you in a center, and in the language he used, I tell you, I still remember, which is next in importance to Belur Math. Then he said that you have to go to take charge of the Delhi Center. Now, because I had that right attitude to the grace of God to put up with an adverse situation, I fully utilized the time that was given to me. It was nearly 14 months. Well, now I give an example of how one can get rid of tension provided you have an understanding wife. Let me tell you that there are occasions in one's life when we do not know, for some reason or other, we have to face some odd situation in life. I tell you that once I had been to Frankfurt in Germany in '92, and I had a very good time there. Different parts of Europe they took me, but when I came back to my center in Delhi, I found that the devotee in which house I stayed, somehow the husband lost the job. Naturally, it was a cause of no mental tension or depression. In a place like Germany, to lose a job, and I was very much affected because they took great care of me. But then, such a thing may happen. But the wife rose to the occasion. She was earning. She told, don't bother, I am there, I am earning money, and better days will come. Because of an understanding wife, the husband could get rid of that tension. And this is also something that we should remember. Now, our day-to-day lives, daily lives, can be divided into 4 types. Each one of us has his or her own family. We have to spend some time with the members of the family. Then we have our field of activities. We have to go and work. Then we have our social commitments. Somebody invites that there is a birthday party or marriage party, and we have our moments of relaxation. Under these 4 categories, our life daily routine can be divided. So we have, while mixing with the people, we have to become very careful. Otherwise, if there is any wrong treatment done by us to anybody, then that will not only cause tremendous tension in our inter-relationship with the members of the community in we go round. In this connection, I would do well to refer to the parental tensions that the children find in their parents. There are families, all families are not very peaceful families. Now, if the husband and wife, they quarrel and the little children are coming up, that will have a very, very adverse effect. So the parents should be careful. Otherwise, today's children, they have a very heavy load of home studies. They go to the schools and come back with all the expectation that there will be a congenial, peaceful atmosphere. But coming home, if they find that it is not so, father and mother and quarreling, or in a very high strung of mind, it will have a very, very adverse effect on them, because they need all the love and affection of their mother. Let us now come to the different causes of tension. Well, while talking about different causes of tension, as I said in the Mercury Hall in that hotel the other day in connection with the meeting that was organized by the Pravasi Bengali Association, and they advised me to speak on the same subject. There I spoke little, but I am going to develop. We all suffer from some kind of tension or stress or agitation or excitement. We cannot hope to find remedies to this problem of tension unless we are well acquainted with the working of the different states of mind. It must be admitted to the great legacy that we have got from our great rishis, that one such rishi, Patanjali Sen, in his Yoga Sutras, famous Yoga aphorism, have dealt with the subject of the different states of the mind. Now, if we look into ourselves, we find that there are some dull moments in our life when we feel lazy, inert, we have no desire to work, we want to lie down and sleep. And there are moments we are very restless, absolutely restless. Patanjali Muni says that this is called the Kipto stage. Mind is always restless, never at rest, just the contrary. Then Mudo, inert, no energy, laziness, dullness and all that. That means absolutely full of tamas. Then another state of the mind is called Vikshipto. It is not fully restless, sometimes at peace. It is called Vikshipto. Sometimes restless, sometimes we are successful in achieving a little of concentration of the mind. Then comes Ekagro. When we subject ourselves to some kind of discipline, then it becomes one-pointed. If you want to focus your mind on a subject, suppose you have taken Diksha, you want to focus on your chosen God in the sanctuary of your heart, you become successful, one-pointed. But even if it is one-pointed, you cannot keep the mind on that for long. That we can do only when we reach the state of called niruddha, absolute absorption of in the mind. So these 5 states of mind, Swami Vivekananda, while giving his lectures on Raja Yoga, he defined in his own way. He would say that this mind is skipped or restless. He has defined it, given a new interpretation, scattering. Mind is going here, there, in different directions, like a restless monkey, no control. And then Mudo, in the language of Swamiji, it is darkening, full of tamas. no light, no illumination, absolutely. And we cannot discriminate between the right and the wrong. We can't take any decision. Then Bhikshipta Swamiji says, partly concentrated and partly restless. And Ekagro, concentrated. Niruddha, fully absorbed. In the light of the working of these different 5 states of the mind, Swami Vivekananda says that we will always fail in our attempts to overcome mental tension if we keep the mind at the Mula stage or at the Kipta stage. Now, what is our topic? How to overcome mental tension. We should be tense-free, calm, quiet, collected. Most of us, we are swayed away by impulses and emotions, and everybody will testify right now and corroborate with me when I say that when we become victims of impatience, anger, we always commit mistakes. Rather, we should have these as a yardstick. When we are swayed away by passion, come down first, afterwards we shall see. Let me calm down, let me regain my normal state. Then if we take a decision, we are likely to take a correct decision. So every day, before we start our daily activities, whether one is a housewife or a teacher or a business executive or a doctor, in any work of life, we have to see whether I am in Kipta stage. Oh, I am today is very restless. No, I am not going to be successful. Don't attempt, Swamiji says. I am in Mula state. No, all lazy. I can't be. So we have to overcome in the beginning these 2 states of the mind, Kipta stage, restless, and Mula stage, inertia, laziness. Then we can hope to attain some success, and only the day we will be able to keep ourselves absorbed fully, then we will be tense-free completely. So this is something very, very important. Let us now come to the causes of tension. Well, one important cause of tension is that if we adopt a hedonistic view of life, in the language of Charvak philosophy, eat, drink, and be merry. Well, I'm in Canada and I'm going to United States tomorrow. Why is it a fact that in spite of these countries being absolutely affluent, they come to our swamis in the different centers for mental peace? And that is the reason Swami Vivekananda once said, up India and conquer the whole world by your spirituality. So far, science, technology, modern comforts, we have to see it at the feet of the Western nations. But so far as peace of the mind, living a balanced, peaceful, integrated, purposeful, successful life, we have to turn our gaze within. But if we do not have that basic philosophy, if we take up a wrong attitude towards life, well, we have been born, let us earn money and have plenty of modern comforts. In the hotel yesterday, I asked one mother, well, we have money, we have comforts, but we miss many things. That is true. So first fundamental cause of tension is a wrong understanding of life in general. If we think that we only have come here to give the maximum amount of sense pleasure, and if we allow ourselves to live at the sunset life, and there is no difference between an animal being and us. But if we want to have real peace, contentment, then we must be guided by some higher values of life. The second important cause of tension is about the presence of different urges in us. Well, God has created us in such a way, as it has been mentioned in one of the Upanishads, Katha Upanishads, that we cannot but go outside to seek pleasures through our senses. But it has also been said that the real purpose of human life is to attain perfection, in the language of Sri Ramakrishna, to realize God, in the language of Kena Upanishad, getting this rare human birth, if we do not strive to know about the higher dimension of a life, we come to great grief. Now suppose one is guided by these fundamental conceptions about the goal of life. Naturally, he or she will be up against a struggle. Those who want to degrade themselves to the animal level, we are not bringing them into picture. We are talking about rational men and women, particularly of the 20th century, and we are stepping into the 21st century very soon. They will be up against a struggle. Now, I want to have my desires of the body and mind fulfilled. The body clamors for many things, mind clamors for many things, sense pleasures. But I feel that if I do not get opportunity to get them fulfilled, these will rise to some kind of nervous tension. And we pass to the stage what is called the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak. I want to respond to the higher values of life, but somehow the so-called desires of the flesh pull me down. So I am up against a difficulty. While talking about Ramakrishna, let us also refer to Swami Vivekananda, who said at New York, addressing a gathering while paying tribute in extempo to Sri Ramakrishna, his master, that there are people who want to realize their true nature, but because of the temptations surrounding us, we go down. So what is the point? I want to fulfill certain legitimate desires of the body and the mind. And unless we get chance to do that, the different religions, they say don't do this, don't do that, then naturally that gives rise to certain kind of psychological complex. And we suffer tension. In this connection, let us say that what the Western psychologists who did get pioneering work, no doubt, Freud has got to say. Another psychologist I would like to refer to, Jung. Freud says that we have in us what is called a sex urge, but later on he changed the language and said that there is a pleasurable principle in us. We all want to get satisfaction by fulfilling the desires of the body and the mind. But in the language of Freud, there is something called super-ego. This element in man acts as a censorship. So we want to do something, but I am censored. Let me give a concrete, frank, brutal example. Now suppose the children are growing up, and the parents don't want that the young, if they are not adult, in the teens, that they should waste their lives by seeing bad, cheap quality films or videos in the TV camera. Somebody is watching, but some father or mother steps in, and naturally he is afraid, oh, I am caught like that. So this is the super element in the censorship. I want to do this, but because of social or religious inhibition, so to say, I cannot get these desires fulfilled, and as a result I am subjected to some kind of mental tension. Jung tells that we have in us both the masculine and feminine element. What does masculine, feminine mean? If we analyze these two terms, we find, he says, that we have in our extrovert tendency. We will lose ourselves in the intricacies of our public life, active life, and we have also something in us which says, no, pause, ponder. There is something higher than losing yourself in so-called futile activities of the world. That means extrovert and introvert tendency. According to Jung, if a man or woman does not train himself or herself to have a harmonious blending of these two elements, that means action and contemplation, one is likely to suffer from tension. That is the verdict of Jung. Besides this, sometimes because of our ambition, excessive, suppose you are earning money, you are doing something, no, I want more money, I want to amass more wealth. So excessive ambition, excessive greed leads to overwork, and overwork leads to tension. Let us now divide different kinds of people under three categories. There are type A personality, type B personality, type C personality. I'll be very brief. Type A personality, they're always under pressure. Busy executives and all that. They are always hurried, impatient, competitive, and such people coming under type A, they are prone to heart attacks also. Type B, apparently type A people may look down upon them, but type B people are more sober. After I have explained, you find now for yourself whether you belong to type A category or type B category or type C category. Type B category means they are always calm, relaxed, not victims of impatience. Type C, beautifully coined, hopeless, helpless category. That means they subscribe to pessimistic way of life. All dark, all dismal, I have no hope, I have no future, I have doom, like that. So, let us say the best, under these three categories, the ideal will be if we follow the type B personality. Calm, collected, patient, not victim of anger, and so on. I now come to the concluding part of my talk, how to overcome mental tension. I humbly offer few suggestions. In the light of all that has been said by now in course of these 20 minutes, the best antidote to tension is to live an organized, disciplined life. There should not be any kind of energy leak. From morning till night, I must draw up a routine that I have come to this world, I am not going to live for eternity, and I must live a purposeful, meaningful life. By coming in contact with people, those will come in contact with me, they will also get something meaningful. But if I live a tense life, agitated life, even those who are supposed to come to me, they will be always at a distance. A serene man always breathes an air of serenity and tranquility all around him. An excited man does just the opposite. So we have to live a regulated, disciplined life. In this connection, I would like to suggest a great name. Our revered Pramodanandaji Maharaj was his private secretary, Swami Madhavanandaji. I joined the order in 1954, and I got my sannyas in 1963 from His Holiness revered Madhavanandaji. With great gratitude, I call to my mind the example, the glorious example of Swami Madhavanandaji. He was a gem of a monk in our Ramakrishna order. Not that he ran away to the Himalayas. There was a Swami who once told me, we have a wrong conception that those who live in the Himalayas and isolated life, they are great spiritual lions. Look at this Maharaj. He was then our General Secretary, not the President. What a disciplined, organized life he lived. When I joined, he was our General Secretary. Whenever I would go, I just watched his day-to-day life. And as it is said, example is better than precept. So he would get up early in the morning. He would have his own spiritual practices. Open the windows. First from the window he'll pranam Ganga, the holy Ganga. Then he'll come down, go to the different temples, pranams, make salutations, come to his room, have a little breakfast, and again engage yourselves in day-to-day activities of the world. He was the General Secretary of this big organization. After that, again in the evening, he will close and he will have his ritualistic exercises. But one day it so happened that somebody in our headquarters, he wanted to have his signature for some important work of the mission. But he hesitated to knock at the door. And when Maharaj came to know about that, he was annoyed. Well, I may have my own personal spirituality. What of that? No work is secular. All work is worship and adoration. Thakur's work. So you have done the wrong thing in not calling to me. That means he was a representative of a balanced, integrated life between action, contemplation, and yoga and all that. So that is a great example. While calling to my mind the example of revered Swami Madhavanandaji, I would like to draw your attention of the necessity of our training our mind. In what direction? Now we say that I am from India, I say that I am a free citizen of free India. Well, or we are citizens of the whole world. True, we are citizens of the world, but remember, we have to become citizens of two worlds. One is the external world, but citizen of the internal world. Unless I subject myself to some discipline, train my mind to acquire tranquility, to rise above all adverse situations, then I will fail miserably being a citizen of the external world. That means we have to make conscious efforts to bridge the gap between action and contemplation. In this connection, I would like to refer to Swami Vivekananda's famous lectures on Raja Yoga. What do we mean by the citizens of two worlds, external, internal? Let us look to ourselves. Swamiji said that there are two kinds of man the apparent and man the real. So far as the apparent man is concerned, he is just a psychophysical existence. But if he or she lives at that level, then he or she will never be free from tension. We have to rise above the limitations of the psychophysical existence, body, mind as we are. We have to be conscious of the spirit eternal in us. It is called the higher dimension of life. Only when we are conscious of the higher dimension of life, we will be able to bridge this gap and will be free from tension. But how to bridge this gap? And therein lies the necessity of meditation. Meditation, through this technique, we can become really free from all kinds of worries, anxieties, and tension. It is a test-test practical method. And therefore it is suggested that if we are always obsessed with this gross materialistic world and foolishly run after the phantom pleasures of the world, relegating to the background the internal, deep spiritual wealth which is within us, and which is the fountainhead of real source of strength for tranquility, then this life will go in vain. And for that, we have to practice meditation. What is meditation? I put it in a beautiful language. Meditation is a pause in our otherwise hectic life. Even monks, we have also to practice meditation. Our Swamis, Brahmacharis, every day at 6 a.m. serve again at 12. And we in Delhi Mission, before Mangal Arati, we have to go at about 4:30. Even householder disciples who are very, very happy and they are able to lead contented lives, they will corroborate that meditation is a source of strength. Let me quote Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda said in one place, the calmer we are, the less disturb our nerves and the better our walk shall be. The calmer we are, less disturb our nerves. But how can we become calmer? It is only through meditation. All work and no time to pause will not do. And the question is, well, Swamiji, you are asking us to meditate, but how long we can meditate? I just said that 1 hour or 2 hours, but most of the time we go round the world. So many people come to meet the Swami and to us, and you have to meet hundreds of people while you're going round the world. So what is suggested? Well, we should have some time when we'll meditate with eyes closed. But when we go round the world, we should learn the technique of trying to meditate with eyes open. Is it possible? Of course it is possible. How? Just call to your mind one short expression given by the great Swami Vivekananda. He said, seek God. Don't seek God, but see Him. When we try to seek God, we have to close our eyes and visualize the presence of God here. Swami Vivekananda was scolded by his guru, Sri Ramakrishna. He wanted to lose himself in the delights of samadhi, and he was cautioned, do you think that there is Brahman if you close your eyes and there is no Brahman with your eyes open? Is it not a fact that you sing that song, Jo Kuch Hai So Tu Hai? Whether in the field, in the midst of different activities, whether a housewife is preparing food for the children or husband, whether you are going out and meeting people, keep up this attitude that the Atman is the back of everybody. I make use of 2 English expressions to drive home the truth. Now you are so many here. I am looking at you. When I look at you, I look at Swami Pramodhananda ji, Mukti Chaitanya ji, and so on, so on. So many differences. While looking at you, if I can learn the technique of looking into you, I penetrate into you. While I look at you, I see multiplicity. I am caught in ignorance and maya. But while looking at you, if I can look into you, I am established in unity. I will be perpetually at peace, no tension. So meditation we have to practice, and we also should practice a kind of breathing exercise. Breathing in, breathing out. Have some time, 2-3 minutes. I am breathing in tranquility, containment, peace. I am breathing out all excitement, all irritation, all anger, and every day I become a better man. And well, friends, my time is over. I am very happy that Swamiji has given me this opportunity, our dear and revered Pramodhananda ji, to share a few thoughts on a very important theme, how to overcome mental tension. And we have a book today, and the book is called How to Overcome Mental Tension. And here the price is £5, and $5, sorry, $5. Those who would like to have this book, they can give their names to Revered Maharaj or his assistants. And I would request him to see to it that he gets this book from Culture or from Advaita Ashram. Tomorrow I shall be leaving for Thousand Island. Plus postage. And you won't mind. And this has been my first visit to Canada. And tomorrow I am going to Thousand Island Park. A pilgrimage. I wrote to Belur Maharaj, please allow me. I didn't say that I want to visit Thousand Island Park. Mark the language I used while seeking permission from the headquarters. I would like to go on a pilgrimage from Toronto to Thousand Island Park, sanctified by the dust of the great Swami Vivekananda. May Thakur Ma Swamiji bless us to live a chains-free, contented, happy life. Thank you.